Greetings. Good morning, beautiful people. It's your girl Bev on this lovely, beautiful Saturday, February the 19th, 2022 morning. Um, I just want to say thank you for all of those that are on right now. Good morning to everyone again. Let me get out of this because I'm in something that I don't need to know. Okay. I'm really, really excited today because this is what I've been talking about since later last year. I am wearing something very special. I went to a certain individual for a customized Fly with Bev show sweatshirt. So I had two people working on them. I had one that I wanted to work on mine personally, and then I had one. Good morning, Karan and Destiny, and then I also had um one other individual working on more for you all. So this is my customized Fly with Bev sweatshirt. Fly with Bev microphone. That's my face on the flyer. And then I have an arm full of butterflies, just the right arm. I thought it was pretty neat just to do one arm. Be very intentional to do just one arm. I'm a right-handed person. So, and then the back, I don't know if y'all can see the back. Let me see if y'all can see the back. But on the back, it has Butterfly Mentality, my Instagram handle, my YouTube, and my Facebook at the top. So I think it's lovely. And it was done by Naomi Fitzgerald, aka or BKA Inspirational Nay. She is on Instagram. She is on YouTube. And then her company that she has is Culturist Aesthetic, if I pronounced that correctly. So I'm very proud of it. I did want a lighter pink, but I actually like put it on and I'm like, okay, all right, this might not be too bad. But that's only because it ran out. Not that I should have shared that. But anyway, I'm just an open book person. So sorry. um, but I really do love the design. Like I'm very picky and strategic. I can't always tell you what I absolutely want on stuff that I wear or things like that, but I can tell you what I don't want. And I think it took us a little while to get the design down because I never really know what I truly want on stuff. But I'm actually glad that I actually got it. So the next thing that I'm going to be bringing up, hopefully within the next month or so, for real this time, would be the actual um, other sweatshirts and things like that that I would want you all to have for the Flower Bev show to basically purchase. So anyway, I'm very happy. I'm very proud. I'm very pleased with the finished product and I love it. So I thought it was going to be too big for me, but it's actually fitting pretty decently. So I'm happy and it's cozy. I love sweatshirts. I just never been the type to wear them like that until now. Also, I love my little Faith bucket hat from Rainbow. I love Rainbow. Anyway, um, this morning, as you can see, the topic at hand is cutting people off in a healthy manner. So a lot of times in this day in society, it's a whole lot of like cutting people off. Like every time you turn around, when a new year rolls in, people talk about how they're gonna cut everybody off all over again, and how they're just gonna live their best life without the people that they have in their lives anymore. And everybody has their reasons for why they're cutting people off. My thing of the matter is, if you find this is the one thing that I have learned. If you find yourself cutting people off every single year, you have to ask yourself, what have you been doing and what have you been allowing? Because it should not be a yearly process for you to cut people off. It shouldn't be like that. It really should be as you get older, you become wiser. That's how it should be, and you don't allow certain things, certain behaviors, certain people in your life. One thing that I have noticed is that people repeat themselves. And what I mean by that is in my life as a teenager, I saw certain people in my life. But when I got to college, I began to hang around more people in my life that were, more so like me or similar to me. And which is why I don't really, there are certain people in my high school years that really meant a lot to me. But overall, you can look back and say I was just cool with them because we was in high school together, we was in the same classes together. But when you actually got older, you begin to see like, okay, who was really down for me in high school and who was really down for me in college. You actually gravitate towards people that you're actually similar to in college. It should not be a thing of, oh, I'm just around them because we're in the same classes. No, like you gravitate, you live your own life in college. So you actually gravitate towards those that actually mean more to you or relate more to you, should I say, in college. Exactly, Destiny. All thanks, Elijah. Well, Destiny sent this first, and then Elijah. Love it, love it. Topic. Woo. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, right? Hey man, somebody gotta stay in your life. Exactly. Um, but I noticed that people that I really didn't want to be around in college because of their own personal behaviors and their personal mentality, I didn't really know how to handle that in the most healthy way on how to like get rid of them, so to speak, without getting rid of them. Some things you do have to communicate because sometimes it's just like people say, I don't owe anybody an explanation. Well, guess what? Sometimes you do owe people an explanation because sometimes they don't understand what they're doing. And some people may say, well, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. It's just equivalent to a woman saying, expecting a man to read her mind. That's stupid. You can't expect people to read your mind. If they don't know where you're coming from, if they don't understand what they're doing, well, let's just try and see if they know what they're doing. Say, hey, you've been doing this and you've been doing that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't appreciate it. And I'm like 2 seconds from cutting you off because blah, blah, blah. They'll be like, oh, wait, hold on now. I'm like, I didn't even know that I was doing that. Or, okay, well, if their reaction will determine whether or not you need to slice them and dice them or whether or not you need to hug them and embrace them. Okay, so you just have to learn the difference between the two, when you should communicate something and when you should just let it go. Now, if you've been communicating all along, telling this one individual what you hate, what you love, and they've been doing shady stuff or they've been acting like it doesn't matter to them, then you have one or two choices. You have one more time to talk to them and let them know, like, hey, listen, you've been doing this and I've been telling you for X amount of time about this, and you still been treating it like it doesn't matter to you. So guess what? I'm done after today. I'm done after today. Or you walk away. That's totally up to you. Because if you've already told them what the deal is, then why should you bother continue to say the same thing over and over? Because you're basically like a broken record. And if they're trying to get it right and they keep messing up, that's one thing. But if they're not even trying to get it right, and you'll know the difference between the two. Somebody that's trying to get it right and better towards you, and someone that just really don't give 2 cents about how you feel. It's all about them. They don't see what they're doing wrong and they're not going to change it. Well, sometimes you got to step away from those people without that last explanation because you told them enough. But there are different ways to cut people off because honestly, well, let me go back to what I was saying. People repeat themselves. When I was in college, there were some people that I was around that I could tell really truly they didn't have an agenda, but the way they came across to me was that they admired me. They really wanted to be around me a lot, but I couldn't, they didn't really bring nothing to my life. I brought to their life. And relationships, no matter what type it is, should always be give and take. And some people may say, well, you got to give without looking for anything in return. That's true. But we do got to sharpen each other. And if I'm always pouring into you and you never pour into me, then it becomes draining on my part. And I can't pour from an empty cup. So I began to notice, their behaviors. And I began to see that when I was around other people, I wouldn't say I'm popular. People will say I'm popular. People have told me I'm popular. I don't choose to be. I just love people. And, people be around me for whatever reason. And as time go on, I see the jealousy or I see the envy or I see the admiration or I see that I inspire people. And I don't try to see those things, but they normally tell me a lot of times. And, or they tell me, I'm a very positive person. And I don't really like to hear a lot of fluff because it really doesn't bother me. Like, I really just be like, okay, let me just live my life. Let me just be great towards you. And, let me just be myself and love you and not have to hear about why all the time. Because this is going to sound, repetitive, and I really don't, care about stuff like that. And I don't want to be conscious of what I'm doing. I just want to do it because it's just in me to do it, if that makes sense. I like to give freely without knowing somebody's watching my every move. And that becomes a thing. If someone, like, I've noticed certain people would just like extremely admire me, and it's almost as if they wanted to be me. Now, people like that, I don't want to be around, because it's like, if you want to be me, if you feel like you're not good enough to the point where I'm better than you, to the point where you want to be me, that's not someone I want to be around. So what I try to do first and foremost is let them know I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. Be yourself. because no one knows what it takes to be me. And to be honest, sometimes it's very hard to be me because I am a friendly person and people take that for weakness, or they take that for flirtation, or they take that for I think I'm all of that, or they take that for well, people just love being around her, but it is what it is. She ain't even all that. Okay, nobody cares what you think. Okay, the bottom line is I am who I am, and you don't have to love it, but God, look, you're gonna have to respect it because I ain't taking no disrespect. Um, so when I notice that people just say, "Oh my God, Bev, you're such a this, you're such that, you're so this, you're so that, you're so this," and I'm just like, "Oh gosh, okay. Well, what are you? What are you? Okay, aren't you amazing? Aren't you sweet? Aren't you kind? Aren't you smart? Aren't you beautiful? Like, aren't you all these things? So why do you seem like I'm the only one standing in the room that's worth something? No, you're worth something too. You're just allowing who I am to make you feel insecure, and you need to level up on that. You need to do better by that. You need to understand that there are wonderful things about you that make you you. So I've dealt with people like that. And instead of me just, and at the time when I was in college, when I changed my life around, I really want to do right by God and all those things. And I really wanted to take things even more seriously than I was before. I kind of left a lot of people behind because honestly, I'm going to be honest, it's very hard being around people that don't see good in themselves, but they want you to see good in them. And, so in people like that, you know, I had to learn to be kind to them, but at the same time, never make them feel like I'm their validation. So, and I'm saying all these things because I didn't like people like that. I would really like be ready to like cut them off because I'm just like, I can't, it's draining to me. I can't do this. I can't give you that self love you need. You have to love yourself. And I met a couple people like that in my life. And it does hurt you to try to pour into someone who doesn't even see themselves worthy. And it's really hard, and so you get to the point where you do one or two things. Some people just be like, okay, you know what, I can't deal with this no more. And I have done that before. I have ghosted people where I'm just like done. I delete you off Facebook, all this stuff. I walk away from you. But in those moments, when I look back as an adult, I'm like, you know what? I should have told that individual more times, like, hey, this is what you're doing, and this is how it's making me feel, and it's making me not want to deal with you. So people can really see that they need, because they didn't need my validation, but they needed me to redirect them back to who they were, basically, in that moment. Just letting them know, like, this is what you're doing, and this is becoming uncomfortable for me. And I need you to understand that I'm not your measuring stick, And so I've ghosted people before in the past. Um, I've been really rude to people to, to for them to get the point because they were doing the same thing over and over and they didn't get the point. So I had to be rude. Then I had to do this. Um, I have, and when I mean by rude, I mean like, just look, this is what it is, and you ain't doing what you need to be doing, and I'm sick of this and I'm sick of that, and blah blah blah. Okay, you know what, I'm done. And then when they try to come back around me, I'm like, leave me alone. I don't want to do with you. I've cut people off physically that way. I've cut people off emotionally. And what I mean by emotionally, I mean like I'm not talking about just they said something that hurt my feelings and it took me a couple of days to recuperate. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone that I kept going to and they seemed negative or they seemed jealous or they seemed like, they didn't really not rude but direct Destiny. Yes. And so they seem very negative. They seem like, oh, anytime I came to them with good news, it was like raining on my parade type deal. And so it hurt my feelings. It's like, dang, like I'm trying to be happy about something. And here it is, you're not even receiving it because you feel some type of way. Like you jealous, like what's going on? And so instead of me allowing them to hurt me over and over and over and over again, I found this rod in my heart. I'll put it that way. This stiffness in my heart where I made myself become completely numb to them to the point where I would only talk to them about, funny stuff or things that weren't that private or things that I know they could not take away my joy about. And so I was around them, if they wanted to hug me, I would hug them, but I wasn't really in it because I'm like, you've hurt me enough with your negativity and all this and all that. And I just had to just block you out emotionally because you are just getting the best of me every time I turn around, making me cry about things that I shouldn't be crying about. So I really taught myself at one point to be emotionally numb to people where they can't affect me emotionally. And some people may say, well, that's not a healthy thing. You have to tell people how you feel. And in those moments, I should have. In those moments, I should have said, hey, listen, what you're doing is hurting my feelings. Like every time I say something, you're doing this and you're doing that. Because people don't know they're being negative sometimes. And really, like some people may think that that's not true, but it is true. Some people really don't understand that they're coming across jealous. They're coming across negative. They're coming across, like nonchalant about something that you're really happy about. And if this person is in family, if this person is in your circle, so to speak, then there comes a time when you're going to have to give an explanation as to why you have done the things you have done. And you should not feel bad about what you have to tell them because it's important to you to be healthy mentally and emotionally. And it's a good thing to display emotions. So, no, you shouldn't let anybody get to you to the point where you're always constantly boohoo crying. And yeah, you don't need to be around that type of person. But if this person is a family member and you're going to dinner and and they're there, or they have birthday parties and they're there and they want to get all in your business and you have to learn how to shut them out, then you need to have a conversation with them. Because if they don't get it, then they'll eventually know when you tell them that one time, like, hey, like you've been doing this for X amount of times. I've told you this. Now it's time for me to act upon it. I don't want anything to do with you. Like, this is what you've been doing. And I'm just to the point where I'm fed up. So I think you have to do certain things, whatever works for you. When it comes down to, like I said, physically cutting people, I physically cut people off while I don't hang out with them. They may text me every now and then. We may laugh, hee hee ha ha. But if I find out they're going on a trip that I'm getting ready to go on, that somebody wants me to come with them, and I know they're gonna be there, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. I ain't gonna ride with y'all. I ride by myself. I drive myself. Nah, I'm good. I ain't gonna be in the car. I'm good. Like, no, because I don't want to be around that person. If this person is gossiping, this person is telling everybody business but their own, or telling their business and everybody else's business, getting in everybody's business, doing all these things, then it's up to me as a person to really see that I don't need to be around them. And it doesn't mean that I don't care about them. It doesn't mean that when things happen to them, I'm not praying for them, that I'm not hoping for the best for them, or that I'm not rejoicing with them when good things happen to them. All those things are great, but I don't want to physically be around this person and I don't want to talk to them on the phone because I don't want no mess. Because people don't say as much through text messages, but you know why? Because it's proof in the pudding. You can screenshot all that stuff. So they ain't gonna gossip about nobody through text messages because they really sorry. They really don't want no mess. You know what I'm saying? So the thing of the matter is you really have to take your time and dissect who's really worth your time. You really have to take your time and figure out what type of people you want around you. And you also need to be that person. If you want strong, confident, secure people around you, then you need to be that person. If you want supporters around you, if you want people that pray with you, if you want people that pray for you, if you want people that, have a certain type of energy, let's say you're a really laid back person and you're not really one for a whole bunch of energy. Okay, well, if you don't want people with a whole bunch of energy around you, then you need to make sure that the people you have around you are not people you're going to roll your eyes about when they walk away like, oh gosh, I can't. She's just too much. No, you're doing that to yourself. So you need to examine who you want around you, or examine who you have around you. Think about who you want around you and keep those that you need around you. So it's not always about what you want. Simply, it's about what you need. What you want can be compromised, but what you need cannot be compromised. You can't, it's like objective and subjective. Objective is what you need, subjective is what you want. So if I want people that talk about goals and dreams and finances and, things that I'm really interested in, then I need to be open minded to those people that I see that are like that, not with the intent of I'm going to be her friend, But if you see that you're clicking with somebody and they are like-minded individuals, why would you shun them? Why would you feel like, oh, you know what? I don't really know, if I need to be around this person because of X, Y, Z. If they don't show you that they're a bad person to be around and you are benefiting from them and they're benefiting from you, and this is it, come on here, and you're getting these things together, then that's what you need to do. You need to make sure that the people around you are people that you're proud to be around. If I know that I'm around somebody that I don't even want nobody to know I'm hanging around, and I don't mean that in a way where you're in, like, if you can be around people and you don't want nobody to know it because people are messy. So if they've talked hard junk about somebody, and then but that's somebody you real tight with, and you out and about, you take pictures with them, and that's one person you cool, you thank God for them. That's your business. Don't allow people to rain on that parade because of how they feel about that person. But if this is somebody that you really truly ashamed to be around, you think they're a terrible person, they're doing this, they're doing that, then why would you even bother being around that person just because they want to be around you? Who cares? Be around yourself. Be around people that actually benefit you and that you're actually proud to be around. So when you see those people in your life that you don't want to be around, when you're around those people that you don't really think should be around you or should be in your space or should be in your circle, whatever, your square, your dot, whatever it is in your life, then you really need to examine what you're doing. Like, what am I doing to allow this? Why am I drained all the time? Why do I feel like this person does not need to be in my life? You need to sit back and you really need to think about it. Stop being around people just because you want somebody around you. That is not a healthy lifestyle to live. Oh, I just want somebody there and I'm glad they're here. But what are they bringing to your life? What are they contributing to your life? What are you contributing to their life? And if you're contributing more to their life than they're contributing to yours, then you really need to check their presence in your life as to why. Don't get me wrong, sometimes we're meant to add to people and not take anything from them. But that should not be an everyday process for years at a time. This same person, you've been giving to them whatever they need. You give, you give until you can't give no more. And they're sitting on the sidelines getting fat with all your love and help and kindness and growth and maturity and gems and wise words of advice and all this stuff. They're getting heavy from all of that. And you're getting light from giving everything to them. And before you know it, they're around there being you while you over there trying to figure out who the heck you are because you didn't give them everything that you know. Don't get me wrong, it's wonderful to share with someone, but it's never good to just give to someone and all they're doing is taking from you. It's never good to be that way. You have to really say to yourself, is it worth it? I don't care if it's a family member. If you're only giving to them and they never give anything to you, I don't care. Don't be opposed to telling that family member, listen, you always coming to me with mess. You always coming to me with mess, and I'm always helping you get out of it. Well, there comes a point in my life where I'm just tired. I'm tired of cleaning up your mess. So you need to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet because clearly I've been your crutch for X amount of time. And the crutch is broken. So I need to fix myself. Yes, setting boundaries. Destiny, yes, Q's organs. She's so silly. Setting boundaries. Absolutely. Setting boundaries. But at the same time, you may not even have to set a boundary. You just may have to set an exit sign up. You got to go. Simple as that. Because I have been in a situation where I have freed myself from someone, and it meant immediately when I freed myself from that person, heaven broke loose. You know how people say the opposite. They say HELL broke loose. Well, heaven broke loose for me. And I felt free. And I felt rejuvenated. And I felt like I was in a good space. I felt blessings coming from left and right, left and right, left and right. I'm like, man, I should have cut them off a long time ago. So you have to be able to figure out what you need in your life and to not be afraid to make those necessary changes because what you do benefits you. And find yourself getting to the point where you no longer have to do this all the time. Don't get me wrong, we got to do spring cleaning. Just like in our house, we got to do spring cleaning in our houses. The springtime is coming up and I get that really good, oh, I got to clean up. I got to deep clean. I got to do this. I got to open the windows. I got to let that fresh air come in. I'm going to play my gospel music. I want to clean up my closet in ways that I hadn't cleaned it up in a while. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So yeah, you do got to, but that's reflecting on your life. Okay, where am I at today? Who's around me? Who needs to stay? Who needs to go? If nobody needs to go, wonderful. If someone needs to go, then you have to figure out what you're going to do. But ghosting is not always the option. Ghosting to me is one of the most disrespectful forms, and it's very immature. The only way ghosting should be involved in your life is if someone has not heard your complaints. They have not respected them. They have not taken them seriously. So you have to get to the point where you have to say, you know what, I'm done. And let your silence be the finish line for that relationship. But I do feel like you have to communicate. People think you don't have to communicate because they should know what they're doing wrong, but there's a time when you gotta woman up, you gotta man up, because sometimes that could prompt better behavior by that person. They could see, oh man, like dang, I was doing that. I didn't even realize it. Okay, let me get myself together. Let me do this right. Let me do this the right way. All right, all right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, friend. I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry, brother. Sorry, cousin, mama, child. I'm sorry. Whatever, father, whatever the relationship is, co-worker, aunt, uncle, whatever. The bottom line is you always want to put your mind at peace. And if you never have those hard conversations, you're teaching yourself not to communicate. You're teaching yourself to just take whatever. You're teaching yourself to just run away when things get hard. No, you got to communicate because you can restore a relationship. You can better that relationship. But if you're always constantly, oh, this ain't working for me, pew, gone. What? So that's what you're going to do always in life? When things get rough, things get bad, you're just going to run away without having a conversation first, without trying to figure out if this relationship can be salvaged, if this relationship can be fixed, if this situation can be overcame by just a few words, a hug. You're just going to up and just walk away. That's not mature. You can't always do that. You know why? Because one day you're going to get it back. One day you're going to be really caring about someone, and you're going to think you're doing right by them. And they're going to tell you what you've been doing wrong. Maybe. Or they're going to ghost you. And you're going to reap what you sow. What goes around comes around, as they would say in street terms. You're going to be trying to figure out what you did wrong. Why did they cut me off? Why didn't they tell me? Why can't I reach back out to them? What's happening? I can't believe this. I'm hurt. And then you're going to sit back and you're going to think about all the times that you did that to other people. You're going to think about all the times where you didn't tell someone how you felt about what they were doing and you left them. And you're going to have to do one or two things. No, you're going to have to do one of two things. Yeah, whatever. You're going to have to accept the fact that you're getting back what you've given. And you're going to have to be understanding to that person simply because you've done the same thing. But when you learn that sometimes you have to have conversations, you can't just continue like nothing has happened. You have to have the tough conversation. This is what being an adult is. And sometimes you're used to that because of how you were raised, or you've been around people that just do things to you that hurt. They never say I'm sorry. And then they come back and act like they have not done anything wrong, and that you're supposed to embrace them, and you're supposed to just let go of how you felt about what it is that you were hurt about. So you get in your mind, okay, well, I guess that's just the way adults, communicate. No. Real adults talk about their feelings. Mature adults talk about what has driven them crazy. Mature adults talk about those things that hurt them. And real adults cry about those things. Some people say crying is not healthy or crying is a weakness. No, it's not. Crying is the cleansing out of the soul of those things that have brought pain. Crying is the rain right before the sunshine. And even when you have tears of joy, crying tears of joy is crying while the sun is out. That's how I look at it. It's a beautiful day, but the sun is pouring. I mean, the rain is pouring, but I'm still happy. But then there's storms in your life where you're just crying. But after you're done crying and you get yourself together, then what happens? The sun comes back out. So, all these ways of communication, taking your time, emotionally cutting people off, you may have to check that. Hi, Wanda. You may have to check that too, because it's not necessarily, oh, I'm just going to shut myself off emotionally for someone because of XYZ. You got to check that. Yeah, you can be burned about something. Yeah, you can be hurt about something. That's fine. But you still got to communicate what was done to you or how you feel about something so that you can truly be beneficial to your own health and really move on from it. And really move on from it. So ask yourself, why are you cutting people off? And in what way are you going to cut them off? Why are you cutting them off? And if you know there's a legit reason why you're cutting them off after you have communicated, if you needed to, then you need to be at peace with that decision. But at the end of the day, you really got to take your time and examine yourself. Because if you're scared, so I'm gonna cut them off because I don't really know how this is gonna go. So you're gonna cut somebody off because you're scared. Like, I don't even know if this is like a popular thing, but it's just people just, I don't know. People just have this moment where they're just like, I'm just not gonna take this. I'm not gonna take that. I'm not gonna take this. I'm not gonna take that. They don't really show mercy anymore nowadays. People don't really show mercy. They're all about how I feel, how I feel, how I feel, and I don't really care about nobody else's feelings. Okay, I can understand that if you're not caring about how people think or feel about you. But when it comes down to behaviors towards each other, when it comes down, this is someone you said you loved at one point. This is someone you said you was real tight with. This is someone you said you was real cool with. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you just gonna cut them off because of how you feel about something that they did towards you. And they may not even know what they did had that type of impact on you, that type of effect on you. So why not just consider the fact that, you know what, maybe I should talk to this person before I cut them off. And then if you don't see change behavior, then that's when you make your next move. And that's when you purge yourself. But you can't expect everybody to read your mind. You can't expect everybody to see how hurt you are in your heart. You can't expect everybody to think about things the way you would think about them. That's totally insane to think that someone thinks like you. Well, they should have known what they did. They didn't know, or maybe they just didn't realize it, or maybe they was too angry, or maybe they was too hurt themselves about something else and they took it out on you and they didn't realize it. There's so many factors that tie into the way people do things. Maybe this is podcast turning into about mercy and forgiveness, but there's just so many things, just how to let go of stuff and understand that the person that did these things to you is a person. They're a human just like you. And if you've always done everything right, if you've always done everything with the right mindset, if you've never made a mistake in life, then by all means, cut off anybody that has done anything to you without having a conversation. Don't even let them know because you're perfect and they're not. But if you're not perfect and you know you've messed up, man, if the shoe was on the other foot, you would want somebody to explain to you what you have done and giving you a chance to try to do it over again and make it right. Then think twice before you just try to ghost yourself from somebody, you know, before you just try to write somebody off as this individual that don't care about you or don't respect you. Hear them out. But you can always tell what type of heart a person has based off of their response to you of confronting them about their behavior towards you. And if you're dealing with a good person, a good person that really understands the fact that you took their behavior a certain way and that you have every right to feel the way you do, then that's a good sign. But if you're dealing with a person that looking at you like you don't have a right to feel the way you feel because of what was done or what transpired, they are not the person you need in your life. So that lets you know right then and there, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna let this person go because clearly they don't give 2 cents about how I feel. They really don't give 2 cents about what they've done. So, why should I keep holding on to this person? Why should I even allow this person to have an effect on me in a way where I'm worried about this situation any longer? But whatever you do, you make sure you're at peace with it. And guess what? You can undo anything. If you cut somebody off in your mind and they don't know it, they haven't came to the realization of that just yet, and you say to yourself, you know what, I cut them off. Let me go back and have a conversation. Let me see if they will have a conversation with me. Then you make the attempt to make it right, because you never know. They may be like, dang, well, okay, well, I knew something was off, but I just didn't know you had cut me off. Well, I'm letting you know. This is how I felt, because I needed this or I needed that, and you just weren't hearing it, or you just weren't doing those things. Oh, greetings, Sister Felicia. You're so right. I learned how to be patient with people. Exactly. And I'm definitely learning that too. I'm learning that too because of the mistakes I've made. I can't expect everybody to, understand, but at the same time, I have to be understanding towards other people. It's not always easy. It's not. It's not something that you can just wake up to, but it's something that I think every human being needs to learn. A little more patience, a little more mercy, a little more kindness towards other people. You know, don't just sit up there and see the way somebody treated you and like, I ain't dealing with them no more ever again. It's like, okay, well, how about trying to figure out what happened and talking to them about it? I ain't got time for all that. I'm grown. Okay, if you're grown, then be an adult and communicate. Because if you have kids, your kids are watching you. Your children are watching the way you treat people. They're watching the way you forgive. They're watching the way you apologize. They're watching if you never apologize. They're watching if you're holding grudges. They're watching everything you do without you even saying it. I'm a child. I know I watched my parents, and I've watched my parents treat people like gold after they've been treated like trash for years. I've watched it, and I never understood that. But I understand now that it's a waste of my time to try to stoop down to somebody's level. Like people say, I'm returning the same energy. I've heard a lot of people say that. And I'm the type of person where, no, I love my energy. My energy is great to me. I'm a very energetic person. And I just don't want to give nobody no crappy energy. And this is no shade to those that have said that to me. But I'm just letting myself know, as well as you all know, that I don't think that's a mature thing. It's just not mature. I'm going to repeat that same energy. What? You're supposed to treat people the way you would want to be treated. If we're supposed to love other people the way we would want to be loved, it's like that's not giving the same energy. Let me tell you, I had someone that I know gave me attitude all the time, all the time, for no reason, just angry at the world. But I made up in my mind, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to give you exactly what you're not expecting, and that's love. And I killed that person with kindness to the point where when they see me, they just like they want to grab me and hug me every single time. And I thank God for that because I could have just been like, they would have been like, hey, now I did do it at one point. Hey, hey. And it's just, but when I did that, they kind of was like, oh, like, why they say it like that? No, they said hey to me, like, hey. And I was just like, hey, because clearly you've been treating me like dirt and you trying to be nice. And I guess they felt bad and was like, okay, let me not. But then I felt bad because I was like, okay, you ain't have to do that. Really, you ain't have to do that. Just be nice. So I just started killing them with kindness all over again. And now we just, hey, how you doing? You doing good? It's good to see you. Then it's like, oh man, like, okay, yeah, we good. We good now. So it's like, don't return the negative energy people give to you. That's negativity you putting out in the world. Return positivity, return kindness, return love. Somebody cut you off, you don't understand why. Okay, they did it for whatever reason they had to do it for. I'm heard about it. I've definitely heard about it. If I ever get a chance to talk about it to them, I'm gonna let them know how I feel about it. Don't run them down. Just be like, you know what? All right, they did what they did. I can't change it. Only they can. You that hurt, pray about it. I guarantee you it'll change. So just think about cutting people off in a healthy manner is just basically if you absolutely get down to the wire where you have to, then you need to. But do it in a way where you don't have no regrets, where you don't have to go back and undo anything, where you don't leave them questioning. Yeah, you may say, why am I going to do it for their benefit? No, it's for your benefit too, because at least you told them why. At least you have made an effort to give them an opportunity to respect the fact that you felt this way and that you are really done with them. So they know what they've done. And maybe it'll prompt them to never do that to anyone else again because they see the end result. So you just got to really think about it before you really cut somebody off. But don't ghost people. Like, I have to say that again because I think that is the most immature way to do a thing. Immature to assume somebody knows what they've done to you. To assume is a bad thing. Never assume that someone understands what they've done to you. Never assume that someone understands the hurt that they've caused you in your life. Never understand that. I mean, never assume that. Never assume that they understand that. You really have to make sure that you let them know this is what you've done and this is why I'm leaving you alone. This is why I'm not dealing with you no more. This reason right here, because I've told you about XYZ. So I don't know. That's my spiel for today. It probably wasn't what y'all was looking for because y'all probably was looking for, okay, how do I cut them off all the way? Let's do this. But you can do that if that's what you see fit to do. But think about it, because you can't run from everything. Some things you got to turn around, you got to face. That's just the adult thing to do, the mature thing to do. You should never, ever be afraid of being an adult. If you wanted to be a child, if you wanted to respond to people immaturely, you should have stayed a kid. But being that, not even a kid, because even kids don't do that. Kids forgive. If we really, as adults, think about the way children do, and I'm talking about the young kids. I'm talking about after you done beat they behind and told them they won't go outside. After you done fought with them and you their cousin, they come right back to you and be like, man, what we doing tonight? Blah, blah, blah. Like nothing happened. So you really have to think about the way children think. They let stuff go. We the adults around here walking around holding on to stuff in our hearts and in our minds. Because clearly in that area, we need work. We need work. So I don't know. That's all I got to say today, you guys. I don't have much to say today. Yeah, that's 47 minutes, 48 now. I think I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to come back with some more topics. I'm definitely going to come back. I'm still going off that list that you all gave me. Thank y'all for that. I'm also going to bring some more people on as time go on because I really want to bring some people on to talk about other things and just spread some more positivity. This is year 2022. And I really do think that this year has been one of the best years that I've had in a long time. Sometimes I can't tell when the year has transitioned. A lot of times, for the past 5 years, I could not tell the year transition. But I can truly say I can tell 2022 has came in and it's in full effect. And it came in January. And I thank God for it. I thank God for everything that I've been through so far this year because it has really helped me be a better person. And I thank God for everything I've been through for up until this point in time. I'm still going through stuff. So y'all definitely keep me in prayer. But I'm actually grateful for the things that I am going through because it's showing me God's strength. Not just mine, like it's showing me God's strength because I've been asking him for his strength to help me and to lead me and to guide me and to give me what I need. And what I'm dealing with presently, it really is showing me that the life that I strive to live every day is worth living. It really is. Holiness is a hard lifestyle, but I thank God for it. I really, really do. And without the life that I'm striving to live, I would not be this woman today. Not at all. Not even in the slightest bit. So just want to say that I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Saturday. Thank you, Sister Felicia. She said this was good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's always my desire that at least one person can walk away and say, I enjoyed that. And I do want that one person sometimes to be me because I need this stuff too. So I pray that you all have a good weekend and that you enjoy your family and that you enjoy your loved ones and that whatever is broken in your lives is fixed and whatever is fixed in your lives remain fixed. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, I hope and pray that, you find strength and courage and hope in those things to keep going and to keep carrying on. And whatever tears you cry, whether they be, on tonight or during the day or whenever, that those tears slowly begin to just cleanse out everything, and you find yourself on the other end. of those tears and you're rejoicing. Whatever darkness you're going through, I pray that you see the tunnel at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, and you begin to walk towards it, and you find yourself walking in the sunshine. So again, have a great evening, everyone. Well, day, and I love y'all so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your subscribing. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. It's Fly with Bev. You can find it on there, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm not really good with how can I say this? Let me see, banners. Let me see. It is with my YouTube channel. Let me see. I don't really know how to get my. Let me see. I still don't know how to get my link for my YouTube channel. I don't know why. I just don't know how to I never really know how to do this stuff. But anyway, y'all have a wonderful day, and I'm going to end with my song, of course. Hold on. Whatever. All right. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you till we meet again. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you till we meet again. Oh, Jalisa, it's okay. Thank you for rewatching. And hi, Mariah. Take care, y'all. Love y'all. Bye.